Alright. Oh, fuck. Okay. Yeah. Excuse me. We're back. Going over. You convene with the trial of mission on the sky. Emma didn't come back. Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. Haha. Witness, please state your name and occupation. What? Me pardon? Oh, I'm just a man, same as you, wandering the trails of civilization. Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it. Oh, I know. You're a patrolman. As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind calling it out. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor. Howling wind? I've never heard Edgeworth described that way before. Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime took place. Is this correct? According to the papers, partner. What do you mean? A desperado soul is as boundless as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up. Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Please share with us your testimony of the day of the crime. In plain old English. Please. I can't understand your dinky do. My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at a street-side saloon at the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man. If you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. Huh? Oh, shit. I can't say I particularly care for your attitude. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems? I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those. Yes, well, what about the fingerprint-activated locks on the evidence lockers? Fingerprint-activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those? He's not being very helpful. He's not that good with machines, or with following orders. Everyone's got their weaknesses, now don't they, Mr. Prosecutor? This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours. Alright. My job was to keep a wary eye on the bone orchard, okay. I want to press on them. What were you doing in a place like that? I was eating spaghetti. Not even Angel's steak lunches can beat that parlor. Pongal sepia pasta. What? Do you mean to tell us You abandoned your police duties to eat some noodles? Not all desperados eat tacos, partner. That's not what I meant. I hope this has at least taught you a lesson. That's strange. This is usually where Edgeworth says, "Did you not want to raise this here?" Well, alright, let's see if we can get this out here. Alright. Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? That is, you being called in to testify like this? After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime. And yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner. It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. Or to be exact, a handprint. This isn't real good, partner. Like I said, I'm a caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects, make my rounds about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints would be in there. Objection! I only wish it were officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood. Oh my god. And he's wearing boots. Of course he is. Witness! What's the meaning of this? Your blood-stained fingerprints were at the scene of crime? The blood was wiped away, however. A luminal test clearly reveals this. Well, Miss Officer Marshall? Seems to me. There ain't a person on this room with a head on his shoulders. But I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall? About the blood-stained fingerprints? About the blood-stained fingerprints. Very well, you may begin your testimony about your fingerprints. Found at the scene of crime. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be the same place as a bloodstained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. Bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Or did you know the murderer was wearing gloves? See, I had nothing to do with it. The witness's explanation appears valid. Although there's room for doubt. Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. This guy's hiding something. I can feel it. Now's my chance to prove it. Bloodstained fingerprints. Said, well, hold on. That's because how did you put it? Pay your respects once per month? Yeah, that's right. One more thing. That locker happens to be mine. What? What do you mean? I mean what I said. That's the locker I used when I was the detective. The locker I still use. All that's in there now though is a heap of broken dreams. I see. It'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker. Apparently, his fingerprint date was never removed from that locker's programming. Must have been using a fingerprint lock all this time without ever knowing it. Then just have to be the same place as my blah 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 blah. How would you know if he was wearing gloves? How do you know that? I may be alone, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports. There was a blood stain at the scene left by the murderer. That's right. Ew! Oh, jeez. Oh, bless me. Oh. However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint. Yeah, I think we tried that too. So that would mean the murderer wearing gloves happened to place their hands on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint. That's the only logical conclusion. Are you starting to get the picture, partner? The picture? This seal of blood in the desert, it's just food for the buzzards. There's only one reality, and that's this. The security tape. So long as my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise. This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall. That wasn't me. Yeah, hold on. What do you mean by that? You want to tie me to this crime, isn't that right, partner? If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have. Whoa, hold up now. But that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots. Blind spots? Places you can't see. Camera panning back and forth. Panning back and forth, the floor isn't shown. Someone was familiar with the camera's position. They could leave the room without being caught on camera. We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright. Well, Mr. Wright, if you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, okay, show evidence, sure. Very well. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall. Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake. Now then, let's have another look at the video. Show us. Alright, hold on. His locker's at the very end. Oh, do you notice that? Look. Where did that come from? That wasn't sticking out before, but now it is. Huh. Which one do I use? X. Bringing our attention back to the security camera is a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall. Days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less? Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video. Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner. The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video. The locker with the white cloak. the white cloth sticking out. That was a witness. That was the witnesses, I believe. Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. Oh, the white cloth, it's gone. What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall? When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away. Order! Order! It would seem that only... Hold your horses. Sorry, partner. But you got the wrong man. So what if my locker was open? That doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it. The murderer needed to hide something, so he opened the locker and stuck it in. It's not my fault he happened to choose mine. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man? This guy isn't just plain dumb. He really doesn't know. I hate the rain of your parade. You're the only person who can open that particular locker. Oh yeah? I call your bluff. Say I opened that locker. Now prove it. Fingerprint sensor? Oh, you're starting to sweat. We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to. What kind of crazy talk is this? Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this. In any case, the lockers aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force who don't know about the fingerprint locks. So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less? Ooh. Oh, he's eating some jerky. I only got 1 word for you, partner. No! Uh-oh. Ooh. Order! 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 Okay, everybody okay here? If this is a joke, it's the worst I've ever heard. I assure you, this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime. Olé! Please answer the question. What? Was he now a bullfighter? That's alright. Officer Marshall, I believe we can figure the rest out from here. We can? And have a look at these floor plans. There is no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall. If that's so, then where was the witness? It seems Mr. Wright has an answer. That's right. The only possible conclusion. Well then, let's hear it! Where was Officer Marshall at the time? I mean, he would be the victim. Officer Marshall was standing right here. There, but that's where Detective Goodman was. Correct, unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall. It was you dressed up as Detective Goodman. But that's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure. May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman. He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. When I entered Evidence room. I asked him to show his card, sir. Yes. Yes? And how did Detective Goodman respond? He suddenly pulled a knife on me! Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had his ID card, why didn't he just show it? Yes, he would have needed to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it. The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card. Oh, I get it. If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall? Ooh, he's still on that jerky. You've got quite imagination, partner. We got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence? He's still denying it? You're gonna have to do better than that to break a detective. Unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim. Can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't hear me complaining. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that this here asshole who keeps saying stuff about my beard was dressed up as the victim? Well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that. I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the one who couldn't take the desert heat. Ugh, this can't be happening. It's so obvious he's the one. What can I do? Oh, it looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. You've run into a wall with no place to go. Return to the basics. The basics? For me, that would be what Mia would used to tell me. Phoenix, try thinking outside the box. You shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. But rather, I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise. Why do you think this locker was opened in the first place? What do you mean? There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open this locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance. Hence, it might be discovered later, as it has been. Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker. According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Then, after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason. The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened it in order to put the cloth inside. So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth? Perhaps the video is the key to all our unanswered questions. I don't have any evidence, so this video is my only shot. Very well, let's take another look at the security tape. After committing the crime and windows open to put away a white cloth. Please show us why the windows is open to the doctor. Alright. Fast forward, please. I wish I could go just a little bit faster. Ah! Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Hold up. Wait. Oh! 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 What's this? Blood! Blood! For some reason, you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman and enter the evidence room, though I don't know to what end yet. However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked. The white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood. A bloody white coat? You couldn't just walk out like that. So, you hid the coat in your locker. Not bad, partner. Okay. Marshall, are you ready to tell us the truth? Looks like I underestimated y'all. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, you were only half as persistent then as you are now, or today. We all wouldn't have to be here now would we? Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did, all of it. Alright. Seems the time has come. Oh boy. Whew. I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. I was expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out and managed to escape. I knew that which area couldn't be caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. So the supposed victim was really you? But there's only one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood was found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be? Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. My guess is he's the donor. It was way too much blood for a small donation. Okay. When you say it, you mean... Do you even have to ask, partner? SL9 incident. 2 years has passed since that case was closed. It was going to completely end with the transferal that day. Not if I had anything to do with it. That is, and it's not over. But what did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room? When a case is closed, only that case's lead detective can look through the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time, no matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine. But Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it? That day was my last chance. That's why I stole the detective's ID. Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman? If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transferal, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. So you did it to fool the security camera. With the detective's ID card? I stole that the morning of the incident. So that really was Goodman's start, and started filling out that lost item report. I returned his ID card. I left it on the floor on the prosecutor's office parking lot. The ID I found was left there by Officer Marshall? So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. What do you mean, partner? I mean the fingerprint activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that locker yourself. But he could, because Rubber Glove just happened to get stuck in the door. That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out. You pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off? Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time. Officer Meekins certainly is a one-in-a-million type of person. Mistaking a detective for an intruder demanding to be shown his ID. I'll have to think a little more about his raise this year. When did Edgeworth get so much influence? Anyway, he threw himself at me and I ended up cutting him slightly. I'm sorry, sorry it had to turn out that way. With me knocking him out and everything. By the way, what happened to your knife? Oh, you mean this one? That I constantly use to shave my freckles? My pitch fuzz. I don't know what to say. So you knocked Officer Meekins out and managed to escape, you know. So you did your research beforehand. Those who get into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I didn't think it would make a difference though. The security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all had gone as planned, no footage would have been left. However, you bloodied your coat in your struggle with Officer Meekins. If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there. What was Officer Meekins doing during that time? What else? He was sleeping like a baby. So what you're saying is on that day... But the blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place. What, are you blind? The victim shown on that tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner. So you stole the evidence from the locker. Actually, no, I didn't. Why not? When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone. What? Mr. Edgeworth, where is that evidence? It's still missing, Your Honor. Oh shit. Detective Goodman's locker was already empty? Someone else stole the evidence? Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing? Fire away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer. Why did you do this? Stealing detective's ID, injuring a police officer. This is no small offense. Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. It can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary. Not that salary cuts are ever a valid situation. Like I said, this isn't your case. No. This one is mine. And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with. The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more. Can't just forget. Yeah, the SL9 incident. You know why. Do we have something? Oh, right. We just got him. Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident. Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner. I have the SL9 incident file here. The name Marshall is mentioned in here. In a list of murder victims. Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man? Neil Marshall. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the name. 2 years ago. Oh, he was the other guy. Okay, I was wondering who was the other cowboy-looking dude. He received the same lousy prosecutor award you got. What? A prosecutor? He must be talking about the Keenan Prosecutor's Award. Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did. That's right. He was killed. And the case fell into your hands. What's his relation to you? Are you serious? He was my brother. Well, of course. No shit. They both had the same last name. He was investigating the murders with Damon Gant and the then Deputy Chief of Police. Group of detectives I was part of worked under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer. Oh, whoa. Look at this dude. Joe Dark. My brother fought Dark and was killed. That was the first time Drake left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. Damn. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed, at least according to the public records. What do you mean? My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight. And that's it. That's your reason for your insane actions. There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me. Ooh. Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime. That was the last day the SL9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with its resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence. Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, and so he rendered him unconscious and fled. Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. Things that happen by chance never cease to amaze. At exactly the same time as the murder at prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department. Chance? It's gotta be more than just that. So if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder in the prosecutor's office parking lot was the real one. Which in turn means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye. Oh boy. But wait, a verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial. Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today. But there's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department. It seems to me this boy's got the draw on you, partner. All of the mysteries at the police department has been resolved, no doubt about it. Our sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Skye, and the testimony of one Ms. Angel Starr is completely incontestable. If you have a response, make it a single word or two. I rest my case. Shit. Damn it, Edgeworth. It seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There is no room for doubt. Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time disproving the alleged murder at the police department. There's no doubt what I proved today is what's true. The apparent murder on the security camera's tape really was fake. But I didn't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty. Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant... Oh. Oh, shit. Ah! Emma's back. Your Honor, wait. Emma? The defense has an objection. A scientific objection. Oh, God. Right? What do you mean, right? Mr. Wright, are you this girl's guardian? Your Honor, in a sense. Please, Your Honor, I'm all I'm asking is for a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please. I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3. Okay. I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dark killings. And now that she mentions that, names of both Sky sisters were in that file. That's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing. The other handprint. You mean the traces of blood found on Detective Gumshoe's locker. But no fingerprints were found on it, right? No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So, I ran over there and looked at it again. So, did you find something? No. Huh? Sorry, I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all. Is that all? Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student. And I'm just an attorney. But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can't find something wrong with them, please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you. Me? Oh boy. Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright. With regard to the incident of the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain? It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Look at the floor plans. The handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this? Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be more use. But still, if you can't find anything wrong with the blood mark, Lana will be... Please answer the question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day. Yes, Your Honor. If ever I've needed to concentrate, it's now. What could be wrong with that hammer? Ground detective shoes. Could it be something I'm missing? Oh! Yeah, the blue badger was blocking it. It was right in front of his locker because like in the corner, in that like little alcove area, that was where it was transpiring. Literally the blue badger was the one thing that was blocking it. This handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction. The only thing that seems clear is you're grasping, Mr. Wright. You've been staring pretty intently at these floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them? Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing. Missing. You mean something hasn't been drawn on there? Mm-hmm. Yes. Something that when drawn, will completely change the meaning of the blood mark. Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright. With all this evidence here, there's got to be something I can use. Question is, which item can prove so... Boom. Oh my god, he's still there. What about that piece of plywood? The Blue Badger, mascot of the police force. Defender of truth, guardian of proof. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The Blue Badger is not here. So watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. Boop. Well, what? Oh, that's right. So long as the Blue Badger is dancing here, it would be impossible to place a handprint at this spot on the locker. What? Damn. So that means, just exactly what does that mean? It means it can't be done. What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found on that locker. Don't look at me. I didn't put it there. Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically. Emma, on that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the Blue Badger to the evidence room, right? After you put it down, it would be impossible to leave the handprint on that locker. So that means this blood mark was left there before the Blue Badger was brought in. Just one moment. I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom. Jeez. It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once but twice. But how? One time was captured on this tape, taken by the security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand from which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is, the other time. Someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered. That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim. The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be a fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found on the locker. So then, assuming this murder you purport really happened, when did it take place? I demand to show evidence that proves when it occurred. When did the first incident occur? To summarize, the defense claimed that prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Jack Marshall, another incident took place. That's right, the blood mark on the locker proves this. Very well, then tell us. When did this first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, proof must be presented. Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that I can show that. Now then, will the defense please present its evidence? What show? This is I know, but it's now my current, the voice I use for him is my current, like, old man voice. This is what I like. This is what I do. Although, even though this judge doesn't seem to be the brightest of all judges. Anyway, because he always seems to be confused at everything. Oh, so you're saying this. Oh, but you're saying this. Oh my god. Yeah, there's a time card. There's still one... Yeah, there's still one thing that we haven't found out, and that's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The 7 sevens. Yeah. If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the killer would have had to enter it. And in order to do so, an ID card would have been required. An ID card? Oh! The ID card record! Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at... Let's see here. 4:50 p.m. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be 4:40 p.m. Ah! Ah! Miles Edgeworth, just what have you done? I never would have figured you had the nerve, boy. Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it could have been me. Nope, I ain't getting it. I'm afraid I don't understand either. It's clear from the luminal tests that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. That means the blood from the first case was wiped away by the real murderer. I would have just had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible. But 20 minutes? That would mean crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room. Let's look at the chart again. Literally, it's the one blank spot. There's only one other card number remaining, and that's the 7 sevens. Talk about a lucky number. But wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room? Since there is no record of his card being used beforehand, must have entered along with the real murderer. That's the only plausible explanation. He went with the 7 sevens. Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP. Find out whose ID number is 7 sevens. That's 1 7 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of that ID card. At least, at present. What? Explain yourself, son. The ID number 7 sevens belongs to someone with a rank of captain or higher. Someone is a so-called executive officer. Ooh. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity. But that's ridiculous. Just how... I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There is one situation in which we can be granted such authority. If an official charge filed against an executive is accepted. An official charge? You're all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor's office operates. Oh, I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you would keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it? Okay. Let me ask a question. Yes. No, not to you. To her, the defendant sitting over there. Your own little executive. Lana? Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course, we've looked up her ID number, and it's not 7 sevens. Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I want to ask. All I want to know is one thing about that incident. This 09 incident? Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence? Oh, shit. Oh, okay. Do you need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor? I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least, I did. Lana! I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. But before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law. Oh shit. Defend it! Just what are you saying? I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look at me, an investigator in that crime, in the eyes and say that you did it? Chief Prosecutor, you did it! I don't have to, Officer Marshall. Why won't you answer him? Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. But Lana, even if it involved forging evidence. Oh shit. Oh no. Oh no. God. See? That's what I'm talking about. No. No! That sucks. Order! 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 Oh, it's the chaos in the court. Could not be quelled. The conclusion of the trial would have to wait until the following day. Shit, man. That sucks. Alright, here we go. I think this is this might be the final investigation. And then we're gonna go into the final trial. Oh boy. It's too freaking dark in here. There we go. Also getting sweaty. Alrighty. And now I gotta turn this down. Okay. Save again, just in case. Alright. Excuse me. I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright. I'm sorry for what my sister said. Well then, nothing you can do about it. Drastic crimes require drastic measure. Okay. Alright. Don't need to hear it again. I didn't know. I never knew that the SL9 incident was just another name for the Joe Dark killings. Sounds like everyone's heard about these killings but me. Lana wanted Dark convicted so badly. That's why she used me. That's why she used what happened to me. What do you mean what happened to you? Uh-oh. It's all in there in the file. Joe Dark's last victim was Prosecutor Neil Marshall. When he murdered Officer Marshall's brother, he left behind an incriminating piece of evidence. But what did you have to do, with those killings, Emma. On the night Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered, Joe Dark tried to kill me. What? He tried to kill you? Oh, shit. Officer Marshall's brother, Neil, was only trying to save me. Oh, no. So that means you... Yes. I was the witness in the Joe Dark trial. I didn't see that one coming. Oh, fuck. Shit. Hold up. Am I actually able to read these? There we go. 0 murder, sentence death. Alright, so yeah. Victims was Edward Jones, Jason Knight, Edith Kirby, Rachel Moss, Jeb Bates, and Neil Marshall. Head prosecutor was Miles Edgeworth, witness Lana Skye and Emma Skye, second investigators Damon Gantz and Lana Skye. Alright, head investigator Bruce Goodman, and other investigators was Jake Marshall, Angel Starr, and that's it. Okay, good to know. Fuck. Well then, this isn't alright. It happened 2 years ago. It was right about this time of year too. It was a terrible thunderstorm that day. Interesting, because it's raining where I am. Oh boy. I was alone in my sister's office. We were planning to eat dinner together when she finished her work. Then suddenly, this terrifying man came bursting into the office. Joe Dark. It seemed like he was running from someone. He pulled out a knife and screamed at me. I didn't know what was going on. Just then, Prosecutor Marshall showed up. Joe Marshall's brother. Yep. Joe Dark tried to take me hostage. But before he could, Mr. Marshall tackled him. Then, what happened? I'll never forget it. Lightning struck and the lights went out. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning flashed outside the window, lighting up the office for an instant. What I saw then burned a permanent picture in my mind. I can still see it now. Permanent picture. I don't remember the moment when Dark stabbed Mr. Marshall. So you weren't able to testify about that? No. I was only asked about when I was attacked. Must be why she made up the crime. Made it up? You mean provided bogus evidence? The prosecutor's office wanted that guilty verdict so badly. Lana forged the evidence and Mr. Edgeworth used it. Edgeworth? Yes, but I'm sure he didn't know anything about it. He couldn't have known he was given false evidence. Even so, that's when it all started. Rumors about Mr. Edgeworth, it's all my fault. If I could have just testified properly, none of this would have happened. So it's true. You know, he may not have known it. Edgeworth really was involved in falsifying evidence. After that case ended, Lana was never the same. She became cold, like she is today. She must have not been able to face up to what she did, especially not to Emma. Fuck. So, what did you see in the instant that crime occurred? Dark knocked down Mr. Marshall and raised his knife. Neil Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl? Fuck. I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently I passed out. Aw. When I came to, Lana was cradling me in her arms. Poor Emma. You've been through so much. I couldn't bring myself to testify about that instant. I tried, but the words just wouldn't come out. I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good. 2 years ago. I must have been 14. That's understandable. Once it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I'd become a scientific investigator. I want to be able to fight crime with my testimonies and find the evidence to make an airtight case. That way, Lana would never have to forge any. I see. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes Emma tick. There's still something that bothers me about that crime. There's something that's puzzling me, Emma. What is it? You said you were in Lana's office at that time, right? That's right. Why then would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, but he was being chased by a prosecutor? Oh, there's no mystery there. Joe Dark had been taken in for questioning that day. Taken in for questioning? You mean by the police? Of course. This happened at the police department. He tried to run away halfway through the interview and fled into my sister's office. But why did he run all the way over to your sister's office? Because the detective's office and the questioning room are right across from the elevator. Across from the elevator? But Lana was the chief prosecutor, wasn't she? No, silly. Didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lana was a detective. What? She was the best in the entire That's why it said investigator. I'm like, why? Wait, why is Lana investigating? Like, I didn't say it, but like in my head, I'm like I just saw the. Hold on. Like, cause I saw. Yeah, I saw executive investigators Damon Gant and Lana Sky. I didn't say it because I was still reading it, but in my head I was like, wait, Lana Sky, executive investigators, but she was a prosecutor. What do you mean by that? She was the best in the entire force. What? That's news to me. After the Joe Dark case, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor. Lana used to be a detective? I better have another talk with her. Shit. I'll be right back. Lana. Mr. Wright, it seems I kept causing you trouble. I keep causing you trouble. Falsifying evidence. I don't think you were the type. Criminals don't mind playing foul. Well, why should we? But Lana, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty. Believe me, I understand the risks. Lana, Emma told me about you. Oh? About how you were a detective 2 years ago. How the SL9 incident was the reason for you to transfer to the prosecutor's office. That's right. Could you fill me in on the details, especially about that unusual change of jobs? I suppose you have the right to know, Mr. Wright. Okay, today's trial. A lot of revelations were uncovered at the trial today, not the least of which was the fact that this case is largely connected to another one, two years ago. Evidence from that case was stolen as well, though I expected as much. I know how obsessive Officer Marshall can be. That trial, it really wasn't fair, was it? I believed in you, Lana. Knew that no matter what happened, you'd always stick to the truth. It couldn't be helped, Emma. At that trial 2 years ago, I sold my soul. Well, all drama aside, the fact of the matter is, at 5:15, there was no murder at the police department. Tell me it's not true, Lana. What the witness, Miss Starr, said. About you stabbing Mr. Goodman with the knife. Lana, I don't understand. Why won't you tell us? Emma, this doesn't involve just me. I don't think I've ever seen Lana so phased before. Sorry. It's true. I was a member of the police force 2 years ago. She was amazing. Oh, hell yeah. Look at this crew. Oh, look at that. He's just wearing a normal tie. He's not wearing like a cross pattern kind of deal. They still talk about all the cases she and Chief Gant cracked together. Chief Gant? He was the deputy chief of police back then, but he still worked the crime scenes. Damon Gant. He was everything I aspired to be. They were the best team ever. They solved crimes before the reports could ever be filed. Emma really idolizes her big sister. But now you're chief prosecutor. What happened? I always planned on becoming a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was to gain experience investigating crime scenes, so you could use that experience in court, right? Gant's help in the SL9 case was crucial to its resolution. Blech. After that, he became chief of police and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office. Maybe I should ask more about this investigation of theirs 2 years ago. And that's what we're about to do. 2 years ago, I was second in command of the detectives investigating Dark. Second in command? That means the investigation lead was Damon Gant, right? Yes. Deputy Chief Gant and I shared the same office and the same investigations. They even had the same office? We led a team of the best detectives on the force. Detective Goodman, whose case it was, Jack Marshall, and Angel Starr. It was the first time Marshall worked with his brother. He was quite gung-ho. Without a doubt, Joe Dark was the serial killer. We asked him to come in for questioning. We were desperate for evidence. That was when his final murder took place. When he tried to murder Emma. Prosecutor Marshall was trying to save me from Dark. You see, the first person who happened upon the scene of the crime was me. Now you tell us. Damon Gant and Neil Marshall were the ones questioning Dark that day. The investigation was in its final stages, and Dark must have suddenly panicked. So we waited until Gant and Marshall let their guards down, then fled the room. From there, he ran straight to the office shared by Deputy Gant and myself. That's where he found me. So you were the first person to run to the scene, Lana. It appears so. I was filing some papers while Gant and Marshall were questioning Dark. Oh, fuck. When I returned to my office, I saw 3 bodies on the floor and smelled blood. 3 bodies? Prosecutor Marshall, the victim, Emma, who had passed out, and the suspect, Joe Dark. During the struggle, it seems Mr. Marshall struck the final blow before he died. Joe Dark had incurred a minor concussion and lay unconscious. What did you do? To be honest, I panicked. I picked up Emma, carried her out of the room, and just held her. Can't blame her. After all, her sister must have gone through. After that, I placed Stark under immediate arrest. Let me get this straight. You were all involved in the SL9 incident. That's right. Quite a coincidence. I don't buy it. What are you saying? There's no way everyone involved in that trial was also involved in that incident. Just by chance. But that case was solved 2 years ago. At least one person went to extremes because they didn't believe it was truly solved. Officer Marshall, yes, his actions came as a surprise to me as well. Ever since his brother died, he's changed completely. I guess he wasn't convinced with the ruling against Joe Dark. Life doesn't end with the closing of a case. Everyone has to live the rest of their lives with their memories. That case just might not be over yet. Emma was assaulted by Dark at the police department, right? Yes, in the office that Damon Gant and I share. The office that Mr. Gant now occupies by himself, the Chief's office. Maybe we should have a look at the Chief's office, the site of the final SL9 murder. Alright. Guess we gotta go to the police department. Criminal affairs, right? Oh, okay. Okay. I mean, this was the last place that we saw him. Okay, I guess we gotta go to the entrance? Hello. Ah! Howdy, Bambina. Oh, Mr. Marshall! I never thought things turned out the way when I woke up this morning. Kusera Sarah? I don't know. You never know where life will lead you. And Bambina? I should have known my luck had run out when old Billy dried up this morning. Billy? Must be his pet cactus. Say, where are you headed? Just over to the prosecutor's office for a little investigation. It's a voluntary appearance, but we all know I won't be coming back. Sorry, but you can't go in the evidence room today, partner. But Mr. Marshall, why did you do it? Why do prosecutors head west? If ever there was a case I needed to know the truth about, it was that one. Before you turn yourself in, Mr. Marshall, would you mind telling us exactly what happened? Looks like I won't be getting a steak lunch today. So, should I talk to Marshall? Yeah. Something was fishy about that trial from the beginning. It wasn't just me either. All the detectives thought so. What do you mean, fishy? Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence we found. For example, the murder weapon. The murder weapon? You... Sorry. Sorry. Plans for Saturday. And you mean the switchblade knife? Knife with a broken tip? That was Joe Dark's, alright. But in the initial autopsy report, a question was raised. A question? Blade of the knife was not a perfect match with the wound the victim sustained. What does that mean? It means there was a good chance that knife was not the murder weapon. However, in the report that was finally submitted, the possibility had been erased. Could the facts have been concealed with forged evidence? That case left behind scars on all of us. The scars that SL9 incident left behind. got the looks, but he got the brains. He got... He was one of the best prosecutors around. I had just made detective when it went down. It was our first case together. How old was he, your brother? He was 27 at the time. He was awarded the highest honor that very day. The highest honor? You mean the King of Prosecutors? I knew it. What are you looking at me like that for? That's an honor for a prosecutor. Mr. Marshall must have really been close with his brother. The day the SL9 incident took place. That wasn't the same day as... That's right. It was the same. It was the day of the evidence transferal. Interesting. It was drizzling that morning. By nightfall, there was thunder. I can't believe 2 years have gone by already. I tried to steal the evidence so the case wouldn't die. Apparently, someone tried to stop you. Detective Goodman was murdered, and the evidence locker was empty. There was something going on behind the scenes in that case. We all knew that later. Every detective involved in that investigation, save one, was taken care of. Miss Starr was fired, and I was demoted and boxed away in a tiny room. What about Detective Goodman? They did something to him, too. Dude, the commissioners would get suspicious. No, they were careful enough not to be too obvious. They? Who are you talking about? Don't get upset, Bambina. I mean Damon Gant and Lana Skye. Oh, shit. The investigation leads Damon Gant and his second in command, Lana Skye. There wasn't a person on the force who hadn't heard that duo. That case was the biggest step in both their careers. After the case ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's. After that, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office, right? Yeah, Damon Gant, the new chief of police, arranged for that to happen. She's never been the same ever since she left. Everyone knew her. Everyone who knew her said so. Chief Prosecutor Skye was totally different from when she was a detective. Now that he mentions it, Emma said something like that too. Tell me, what happened to my sister? Sorry, Bambina, but her secret is too well guarded. I never found out. Lana's secret. It all started 2 years ago. What? So there you have it. That's my story. Did you enjoy it, partner? It was certainly enlightening. There's one thing for sure I found out in court today. That boy Edgeworth isn't my enemy. He was the one who used falsified evidence to get the guilty verdict. But someone else was the one who gave him that evidence and planned everything. That someone is Damon Gant. Don't believe me? Well, I don't blame you. I won't even be a patrolman after today. No shit. Too bad I won't be around to work with you when you become a real scientific investigator. Adios, Bambina. And he walks away in the sunset. No, don't leave. So... back here? Sweet. He's busy solving crimes. Well, if you're looking for the others are all in a conference room. Okay, cool. Thanks. Wow, he actually talks to us. With the chief prosecutors saying what she did, the decision about what to do about Mr. Edgeworth, not to enter out a statement of me is okay. are usually used for those. Okay. Sir. Sir, we'd like to look around Chief Gant's office. Just use the connecting hallway in the other building and take the elevator to the top floor. You're not gonna question why they're gonna look around in their office? Really? You mean it's okay for us to just go in there? I mean, we're not police officers or anything. Hey, you're right. You can't go in there. It's off limits. Now I see where Detective Gumshoe gets his unique charm. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's head to the chief's office. Yeah, because they're idiots. What the fuck is this? Why is there an organ? Like a church organ. Whoa, where am I? in the chief's office, silly. At least that's what it said on the door. Check out that pipe organ. That's real, isn't it? Hey, I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. They used to call me Little Miss Bach. Great. I thought I was a genius until I... Don't stop! I never could remember where C was. Hmm? Oh, god damn it. This is your fault. Oh, it's you two. Chief Gant! Put the paper he was reading in his desk. Ooh. So, righto. Have you been swimming lately? No, I haven't. It's been kind of busy lately. I can appreciate that. I've had my hands full too with Mr. Marshall's misconduct. And Lana's provocative statement. Provocative statement? Oh, you mean about the forged evidence? 2 years have passed since that incident. My, how time flies. See that big picture on the wall over there? Wow. Crazy. This is a nice... Oh! The vase! It's the vase! There's the vase, and I feel like there's something to do... So, I saw that suit of armor. Oh! It has a red scarf! Oh! And it basically has, like, a dagger. Oh! Oh my god! I can't believe I could see all that. Oh my god, I can't believe this. This is unbelievable. Oh my god. That's a picture of Lana, Neil, and me! So this is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Neil Marshall. We took it to commemorate our work together. Something's not right with this picture. I can't quite seem to put my finger on it, though. Because! Oh wait, it still has it. And it looks like it still has, like, a cape or something. Though it doesn't look red. Anyway, I like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that need my attention. I'm going to lock up here, so let's go out together. Oh, but this office... It was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it? That case has long since been over. There's no need to investigate it anymore. All the same, we'd still like to have a look around. Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said there's no need to investigate it anymore. Now hurry up and get out. I have a meeting to attend. Come on, let's all go. Looks like we aren't welcome. It seems that case isn't over with yet, after all. What do you mean? Chief Gant denied our request to search the crime scene. That means there must be a reason why he doesn't want us looking around in there. You mean like a clue? There's got to be a way we can get inside the chief's office. Oh God. Okay. I mean, Okay. Hey, pal! Yay, Detective Gumshoe to the rescue! Aren't you supposed to be in a meeting? I'm, just taking a breather. My feet hurt. From sitting so long? Actually, for serving everyone coffee. Sounds like Detective Gumshoe's still out the loop. Probably for some reason. Say, have either of you seen Mr. Edgeworth? Edgeworth? No. Why do you ask? He's under fire from both the police department and the prosecutor's office. It's almost like the battles between you two in court. Wait, that sounds serious. Is it because of what my sister said? That's basically what it all boils down to. That falsified evidence 2 years ago. Now Mr. Edgeworth has the whole world after his blood. Yikes. Alright, let's see. Edgeworth crisis. But why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. Lana Skye is the guilty party here, isn't she? I mean, regardless, a prosecutor is responsible for the evidence they present in court. Not only that, but as you know, there are a lot of rumors going around about Edgeworth. His amazing talent as a prosecutor kept him safe from those who don't like him. But now, with this, are there really so many people who hate him? In our world, only those with talent rise to the top. Mr. Edgeworth not only has that, but he's young. There's no better recipe I know for making enemies. Hey, Dick! Keep up the good work! Yes, sir! Let's go out for lunch again sometime. My treat. Yes, sir! Gotta take me back to that joint sometime, okay, Dick? Yes, sir! It seems you don't have any problems with enemies. Yeah, well, I'm careful not to stick out. Anyway, I'm a bit worried about him. Under all this pressure, I'm afraid Mr. Edgeworth just might crack. Eesh. Oh. Actually, I took a look at the file earlier while the coffee was brewing. He seems generally concerned for Edgeworth. Well, did you find anything out? Now, the only evidence Drake left behind was during his final attack. His final attack, you mean when he killed Prosecutor Marshall, who was trying to protect some girl? Me. Oh, it was you? Shit! Seems Detective Gumshoe never realized Emma was the girl. That's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all. Well, what was it? Oh, let's see. I think it had something to do with the murder weapon? Oh, I forgot. Look, it's all written somewhere in here, okay? His powers of recollection never fail to impress. Maybe we should show him the murder weapon. It might just jog his memory. I mean, should we? Hold on. It doesn't say on here, at least. Ah! Sorry. Joe Dark was 42 at the time of the crime. He was just your run-of-the-mill businessman. A businessman? What made him take to serial killing? One day on his way home from work, he hit someone with his car. With his car? So It was an accident? An accident, yes, but it transformed him into an animal. An animal? He killed a man that witnessed the accident. Then he killed... It was a kid then he killed him too. Jesus! On the sea. It was what? Jesus! Wow, see, seems he was a pretty careless animal. Of course, this is all conjecture. There wasn't a single shred of evidence. So he turned himself in. Yes, but in the middle of his questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim, prosecutor Marshall. That crime was witnessed by someone too, but luckily Drake was arrested on the spot. It's a hard thing that last witness wasn't killed. That last witness, aka Emma. Alright, represent... Not that one. This one. About this. Hey, is that... Has a tag attached to it that's labeled SL9 Incident on it. I believe this would be the broken murder weapon you were speaking of. What are you doing with that? Ever since the case was closed, that knife's been locked away in a locker. The day Detective Goodman was murdered, this suddenly disappeared from the locker. It was found in Mr. Edgeworth's car muffler. That's it! Now I remember what that incriminating piece of evidence was. When you showed me that knife, it all came back. Well, what is it? Detective, quick, before you forget again! This knife. It was Joe Dark's, wasn't it? That's right. We traced it back to the store he bought it. Plus, it had his fingerprints on it too. But no one actually witnessed him using it to murder anyone, right? That's where his luck ran out. When you take a good look at the knife, you'll see it's broken. You don't have to take a good look to notice that. Yeah, well, anyway, take a guess where the broken tip of the knife was found. That's what did him in. Where was it? The victim, Neil Marshall, was carrying it inside his own body. It was found deep inside the stab wound. Oh shit. Did it match Dark's knife? You bet. Down to the last fiber. That's pretty conclusive. Punctured heart and lung. The knife tip was in the wound. Huh. Well, there you have it. I'm in a nutshell. That's all I know. Can I ask one more thing? What is it? If it's money you need, you should ask Chief Gant. It's not money, but it does concern the Chief. His office is a crime scene, right? It's where Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered. The Chief's out now, and his office is locked. But we'd like to have a look around if that's okay. Well, any detective's ID card can unlock the door. What? Really? If I let a civilian in there, I'd be charged with breach of trust. Breach of trust? Simply put, I'd be canned. Oh. Sorry, pal. I don't plan on getting fired because of you. How about this card? It was Detective Goodman's. That won't work either. The data was deleted the day he died. Oh. So in other words, Gumshoe is our only chance of getting into that office. I wonder if there's something we could do. Could show him that could change him. And make him change his mind. That's a good question. can't go... Alright, so we can't go there. Nothing we can do there. They're looking busy. Okay. This room, yep, uh-huh. I mean, they're pretty much just going over this shit again. Edgeworth? Wonder if Edgeworth was back yet. There he is! It looks like he's writing something. What are you doing here? Sure was quick to throw that paper on the floor. Tough day in court, huh? I've had to live for the past 2 years with rumors flying around. What's another allegation to me? Cheer up, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm rooting for you. That's Edgeworth for you. Always trying to hide his real feelings. Always trying. But I know how revealing feels. So, what do you want? Unlike some people, I don't have all day. Well, you see... Well, let's just talk about that evidence I was forged. Oh, God. There's no excuse for what I've done. 2 years ago, I used false evidence to obtain a guilty verdict. That's what it all breaks down to, and nothing I do can erase that fact. But you didn't know, did you? I mean, that the evidence was falsified? The police department and the prosecutor's office share a bond of trust. That bond is broken. We stand to lose everything. The police department's error is my error. My responsibility as a prosecutor in charge. That fact remains the same no matter what excuses I might have. Mr. Edgeworth, I try. I take pride in my work. So tell me why. Why has it all come to this? Even Edgeworth can't keep this kind of emotion bottled up. I'm just gonna turn my fan off. I feel so bad for my legs because of my IRL job. IRL job, walk around a lot, stand and walk around a lot, really, and here I'm like putting them in very uncomfortable positions. Are you up for the trial tomorrow? First, last year's trial, and now this one. It seems all you do is worry about me. Oh, but look at that smile on his face. All you do is seem to worry about me. Oh. To be honest, you're getting on my nerves. But Mr. Edgeworth, you can't just walk out on the trial. Tomorrow is the last day. It's too late to change prosecutors. I'll bet that's what my superiors are banking on. I never thought that case would come back to haunt me like this. What do you mean? The list of evidence. It seems too short. More lists run twice as long. It's only half as long as most lists. That is odd. After Neil Marshall was murdered, I became prosecutor for that case. I may not have been part of the investigation, but I knew what I had to do. Use the evidence I was given to prove the suspect guilty. That was really the only thing on my mind at the time. Say, we just saw a picture taken around that time. That picture, something seems strange about it. Could you tell me again what happened that day? The day Detective Goodman was murdered. You were participating in a ceremony over at the station, right? I've never cared for ceremonies, but I had to attend that one. Because you were awarded this! Those receiving awards can't exactly skip out on the ceremony. I finished up at the office in the morning, then drove over to the police department. You finished up at the office? Yes. Just odds and ends. Clerical stuff. No, I didn't plan on returning to the office that day. That is, until I was asked to take something back. Take something back? This. Oh yeah, Chief Gann asked you to hold on to that, didn't he? Yes, it was a piece of evidence in a case that was closed half a year ago. He asked me to bring it back to the prosecutor's office. That's the story we heard yesterday. So you came back here to the prosecutor's office because the chief asked you to. That's right. So... we did mention the picture, so maybe we should bring that up. This picture was hanging on the wall of Chief Gant's office. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He had just started making a name for himself. Looks like this was taken when he received the Cane of Prosecutor's trophy. Speaking of that, there's something that bothers me. Yes. The trophy Mr. Marshall is holding. Oh yeah, it is a little different. It has a broken sword. Weird. It's a little different than yours. Yes, you're right. Ah, I remember now. Remember what? That was what the official prosecutor's trophy looked like until 2 years ago. There's a story behind its design. A story? Sounds interesting. Would you mind telling it to us? It's simple, really. Contradiction. That's what the award's based on. Does it open? Yep, cool. This award originates from the ancient Chinese tale. In Chinese, the word contradiction is written in 2 characters. The first one means halberd, and the second means shield. Huh. I'm still leaning towards that suit of armor. Have you heard the story? Me? Oh, sure, everyone knows that. Why don't you tell it, though? For Emma's sake. Very well. Oh man, we're actually gonna get a story. Oh, this is interesting. Long ago in a kingdom of Chu, there was an arms merchant. One day, he presented the king with 2 items. The first was a halberd. He claimed could slice through any shield or armor. The second was a shield he claimed could withstand any weapon. Wait a minute. Objection! Those claims contradict each other! Very perceptive. But then again, you've heard this story before, right? Anyway, as you mentioned, the very descriptions of these items discredit them both. When the king pointed this out, the merchant was left speechless, and thus the Chinese word for contradiction was born. Oh, I see. So the chipped shield and broken knife symbolize... Precisely so. They symbolize the merchant's items. The ancient tale ends with the merchant at a loss for words. And it's in our nature to pursue matters to their conclusion, even if it results in something as ugly as this. Wow, thanks, Mr. Edgeworth. I learned something new today. That's funny. If that's so, then why were You only given a shield. You'll have to ask Chief Gant. 2 years ago, he had the halberd part of the reward abolished. Chief Gant. Because the suit of armor has a halberd, and he used it. I think he's the real murderer. Maybe. I don't know. Chief Gant is definitely, he's definitely, suspicious. Wonder what he was writing before. Come on, Mr. Wright. Let's take a look. Are you crazy? Edgeworth is sitting right there. Just distract him. I'll check it out. Hey, Edgeworth! Is that Detective Gumshoe at the window there? Oh, no. No, he's going to fall into the ground. Hold on. First, let me see what this girl's doing crawling around my feet. He didn't even look. What? Letter of... Oh, shit. Letter of resignation? You're having trouble reading. I'll read it for you. It says, letter of resignation. Oh, shit. Resignation? Edgeworth! You don't mean... I'm tired, right? I feel as if something inside me has died. But, Mr. Edgeworth, none of it was your fault. I know the path I've walked. You don't need to tell me. And the path I've walked has been a just one. I can't forgive myself for what I've done. And no one else should forgive me either. Uh-oh. I think he's serious. Mr. Wright, please. You have to do something. Oh, shit. I wonder if I can use it for anything. I bet. Maybe if we show this to, what's his name? Gumshoe. Maybe he'll, like, do something. I don't know. Maybe he'll do something about this. Excuse me. Oh, hello. Oop. Would either of you care for a quarter pound of roast beef? Miss Starr, I guess she's out of lunches. You certainly are a curious sort, aren't you? Kind of like the first person who sucked a cow's nipple to discover milk. That's very descriptive and ew. Still, I never thought you'd go digging up that case from 2 years ago. Everyone in the trial was involved in the SL-9 incident. Not only that, but the murder occurred in the very day the evidence from that case was due to transferal. This can't all be attributed to mere coincidence. Aren't you forgetting something? You know that little scene I happened to witness? Then said Lana stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. No matter how much of the past you dig up, it won't change what I saw. Roast beef is meant to be savored when eaten. Miss Starr's hatred towards Lana. It all dates back to 2 years ago. I guess we should talk to her. Should we? I mean, yeah. Joe Dark. That's a name I'll not soon forget. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time. We trailed him for half a year. Oh, the pressure. Still, I don't think I was ever more alive than I was then. Those days were steamier than a bowl of hot gravy. What? Poor old Jack Marshall. Jake Marshall, sorry. Though most have been going through hell. You mean, because of his brother's death? They were close, those two. After Neil died, something took over Jake. He became obsessed. Seeing Jake like that made her all the more desperate. Her? Lana Skye. My sister? The best of the best were put on that SL9 case. Of course, they were led by that legendary duo. Lana and Chief Gant. That legendary pair was the reason we were able to keep up our investigation. That's why we were so shocked over how it turned out. You mean, with the forging of evidence? Don't get me wrong, Joe Dart got what he deserved. Still, it was obvious the evidence produced in court was being manipulated. Items our team never found would suddenly appear, while other items were kept secret. But you don't have proof you don't have proof anything illegal was done. Okay. I'm proof enough of what happened. After that case, all of us save Goodman were relieved of our duties. Most without even so much as an explanation. When Lana Skye transferred to the prosecutor's office and became chief prosecutor. Lana always wanted to be a prosecutor. Nothing's quite as simple as it appears. Huh? Lana Skye was merely being used as a pawn. That's my take on the matter. She was being used? Damon Gant and Lana Skye. Gant led the investigation and Lana second in command. Well, they were the best. They solved all kinds of cases together, didn't they? Damon Gant's magnetism, in particular, was almost unreal. His magnetism? By that I mean his ability to attract evidence. He'd produce the most incredible evidence in the cases he handled. Incredible evidence? You mean... Oh yes. There were rumors about him even back then. No one dared confront him though. I take it she's talking about forged evidence. Back then, everyone looked up to Lana. All the detectives wanted to be like her. Really? Oh yes, myself included. I was a fool, really. She hated anything crooked and always watched out for the other detectives. That's why she was so concerned for Jake. Mr. Marshall? When Jake's brother was murdered, she felt as if she had lost her own brother. If it wasn't for her, I don't think Jake would have ever recovered from his shock. That's what makes it all the more infuriating. Miss Starr. That's why I'll never be able to forgive her. Why did she have to turn so cold after that? Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office 2 years ago, didn't she? Yes, thanks to the Chief Gant's powerful influence. Chief? That's right. Having solved the SL9 case, his position as chief was secured. There was only one thing left for him to control. And then no one could stand in his way. The prosecutor's office. What? You mean that's why Lana was transferred? If he could control the chief prosecutor, he could control the prosecutor's office. That must have been his goal all along. But how would he control Lana? I don't know, but one thing's for sure. Ever since that case ended, she's never been the same. It's only logical to conclude. There must have been a reason for her change. At last, I'm finally getting close to the bottom of this ugly mess. Thank you, Miss Starr. You listen to me, Rookie. It takes more than just ingredients to create fine cuisine. I hope you turn out to be better chef than I've been. Okay. Alright. Oh, you're back. You're still here? I gotta make 150 copies of these files. Brewing coffee, copying files. I'm turning to a regular DJ. You're a DJ as well? If I'm not mistaken, I think he means desk jockey. Oh, that DJ. I gotta admire your persistency, but my answer is still no. I'm not letting you into the chief's office, period. Be my neck on the line. That office is the last crime scene in the SL9 incident. Have to take a look in there. There's got to be something we can do to make the detective change his mind. Yeah. Show him this. Oh, present. There we go. What's this crumbled up piece of paper? No way! Mr. Edgeworth can't be serious. Is he ever not serious? I can't believe that they've pushed him this far. Mr. Edgeworth really feels responsible. When I first met him, I thought he was as cold as ice too. But I know different now. He trusted us detectives to provide with sound evidence. But we betrayed him. Detective. That's it. I made up my mind. But here, take my ID card. Wait, you can't do that. If someone found out, they wouldn't let you off the hook for another lost item report. Look at me. It's no secret. I'm already out of the loop. After all, I'm friends with Mr. Edgeworth. Depending on how this case turns out, I may already be as good as terminated. What? So at least let me do this, for Mr. Edgeworth's sake. God damn it, I love that man! Alright, detective. Thank you. But you have to take him from me. Alright. Alright, let's go. Beep. Alright. Here goes, Mr. Wright. Click. Beep. We're in. If anyone finds us now, Detective Gumshoe's a goner. If that happens, I'm counting on you to bail me out. Eek! Yeah! Oh. Poor guy. Sorry, I thought you were a ghost. I didn't even know you could slap a ghost. Detective Gumshoe, what are you doing? Sneaking up on us like that? I wasn't sneaking, I was just worried something might go wrong. So I came too. If you're here, then what's the point of giving us your ID card? Oh my god. Hey, don't do that to my card. Hardly ever get a chance to come in here. So I figured I'd have a look around myself. Besides, we're all in this together now. All in this together. Never mind. You really do want to get fired, don't you? Not if we're lucky. Now, come on, let's see what we can find out. Got a bad feeling about this. Might as well talk to him. Desk on the other side of the room. Is that your sister's? Yes. That's where I was waiting for Lana. On the day 2 years ago. Is anyone using it now? No, sir. This is entirely Chief Gant's office now. He practices a strict policy of preserving the crime scene. That's a strange reason to leave it there. He leaves it as a warning to everyone else. He wants us to always be alert. Told us so himself at our New Year's party. Of course, he was pretty intoxicated at the time. I see. So ever since Lana left, no one ever touches that desk? No one except Chief Gant. And that cleaning lady who's in here each morning. Still 2 years have passed since that incident. There can't possibly be any clues remaining. Or is there? Can I ask you something? Sure. You only came here to look around, right? Because it's one of the SL9 crime scenes. I mean, that's your only reason for coming here, isn't it? Why do you ask? You don't think... Nah, you wouldn't be... No. No, there's no way. Never mind, don't worry about it. Okay, now then, let's look around a bit more. Hey, hold on, not so fast, buddy. Huh? What is it? When someone tells you don't worry about it, it's supposed to start bothering you, pal. You don't just let it go at that. But, sorry, this guy's starting to get on my nerves. Okay, what's bothering you? You two don't think Chief Gant might be a suspect, do you? What? He's right, Mr. Wright. What do we think of him? Chief Gant. So it's finally come to this. What do I think of him? Perhaps it's best I don't divulge my feelings yet. There you go, ignore me again. Look, man. Alright. Ooh, a safe. This is a safe, isn't it? Oh, no shit. Safe? That word is ripe with intrigue. Okay. If you say so. Looks like a code needs to be entered in this panel to open it. 7-digit number. I think I just might know what it is. Ooh, you know what? Let's try it. Do you know what it is? I have a hunch. Oh, I know. No, you want to try my birth date? It's... No. Why would it be your birthday? I have a better idea. Here goes nothing. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh my god, you've gotta be kidding me. So it was him. Bingo. What number did you enter? Whose birthday was it, pal? 7 sevens. The final ID card number on that record. What? Number of the mysterious executive officer who entered the room that day. You mean 777777777? That ID number? I think you're 1 7 shy this time. It's gonna be one thing. That's Chief Gant's ID number. How lucky can you get to have that as a number? Say, anyone care to look inside? Yes. Let's look inside. Is there any money in there? How much does he have stashed away? $100 million? Look, it's a Oh, there it is. A shard of a broken cup? Somewhere looks familiar. Where have I seen this before? There's something else in here too. Oh shit. What's this? It looks like a piece of leather cloth. And it has a handprint. This is a handprint, isn't it? Hey, I saw someone wearing a shirt like that once. You think the chief made up the design? I don't think so. Oh, well, it was just a thought. Is that it? Is that all it was in the safe? Apparently so. It's empty now. Here's a cloth with a handprint on it, and a broken shard from a cup. They look like pieces of evidence. Yeah, but useless. Unless you can prove that have something to do with this case. I'm afraid I can't just let you take them. After all, it's my neck on the line here. Great. Now I have to prove their relevancy. So you get them. What are these two items related to SL9 incident? Come on, there's got to be something you can show the detective. Oh, yeah, I'm sure. So that last piece is from here. That gumshoe. Could you take another look at this jar? I remember when the three of us put that back together, and those were the days. It's kind of early to be nostalgic. Wasn't this jar a piece of evidence from that case? That's right. One of the shards had an SL9 incident sticker on it. Does that ring any bells? You know, that fragment we just found? You mean this one? That was in the safe? Yes, that one. That was in the safe. Yes, it was in the safe. Now that you mention it, it's ringing a lot of bells. Let's see if it fits. Assemble fragments. Let's do it. Here, let me see that shard. I'll take a crack at this. Go ahead, pal. Show us what a rookie can do. Mr. Wright, here's some glue. If I can piece this together again, it'll prove Chief Gant was knowingly hiding evidence. Here goes. I mean, do I really have to? Because, like... hold on. Yeah, like that. Boom. Ah. There, fits like a charm. That, of course, means Chief Gant willingly and knowingly hid a piece of this jar in his safe. In other words, he concealed a piece of evidence from the SL9 incident. But, hey guys, get a load of this. What is it? This piece you just attached. It's different from the others. Really? There's a reddish line on it. Huh, yeah. A reddish line. That's blood. I don't get it. Why would Chief Gant hide this in his safe? Let's check it. Here, it's hard to make out, but there's a dark red stain. Yeah, I know. Looks like blood. She's stain. What's this line? That is odd. Damn it. Okay, well, where's that fingerprint stuff? Here we go. Detective Gumshoe, I'd like you to have a look at this. Hey, I know what that is. So, you want to take some fingerprints? That's a great idea, Detective. Alright, go to town, sheesh. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you sticking out your hand like that? Go ahead, take my fingerprints. It's not your fingerprints we want to take. Huh? Come on, this isn't the time for jokes. We're talking about the cloth we found in the safe. Oh, I knew that. The one with the handprint on it, right? Sheesh, where's your sense of humor? You actually didn't realize that, did you? Finger power, yeah, I know what to do. I know what to do. Okay. So there's many things we can do. Let's just go with this one. Yeah, spread that dust. Spread that dust. Spread the dust. Spit the dust. Ugh. Woo! Let's go. We're gonna solve crime. Ooh, that's not great. Give it my best shot. Go with matching. Okay. Let's try a different finger. All right. Let's try the thumb. Yeah, let's try the thumb. Yeah, let's get it all up in there. All up in there. All up in there. Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. I mean... Yeah. Alright. Middle? Middle finger? Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Hell yeah. Alright, let's just make sure you get all in there. Get all up in there. Hell yeah. Damn it, it's not Damon. Alright. Okay, it's not Damon Gantz. It's not you. That's Emma. What? What? No way. Why? Why is her handprint on it? Emma, you got some explaining to do here. No. How could this be? What are Emma's fingerprints doing here? Hey, you found a match. Whose fingerprints were they? Huh? Oh, it seems the prints are too old. They aren't clear enough to get a match. Oh, that's too bad. I thought they'd be, Dark's prints. Psst. Hey, you. Over here. What's going on in here? What are that kid's prints doing inside the chief's safe? Don't ask me. Let's just keep this information from Emma for now. Here, maybe you should hold on to this. Alright. Okay. So. I mean, I really want to... Yeah, let's check the armor. Deal the armor and weapon. Pipe organ, now this armor. Yeah, taxpayer money. Yep. Yeah, probably is. Okay. Okay. Never mind. Alright, oh right, he hid a thing of paper. Beside Chief's desk. Speaking of that, when we were here earlier, he quickly put something in his desk, blah blah blah. Wonder what he was reading. This looks like a list of evidence. A list of evidence. In most cases, the list runs twice as long as this, though. Hey, look at the case name. Huh? SL9 incident. I wonder what this is doing here. Hold on, detective. What did you just say? I said I wonder what... No, about the evidence list. Normally they're twice as long? That's right. I guess there wasn't a lot of evidence. A half-sized list of evidence. A list of half-sized evidence. What would the other half of the list be doing here? I knew it. Wait, the chief must be hiding something about that case. It would appear so. Alright. Well, was I any help? Kind of. Of course. Thanks to your ID card, we were able to get some hard evidence. Now, that's not very kind, is it? In other words, if it wasn't for his ID, he would have been useless. Isn't that right, you in the coat? Eek! Chief Gant! We Didn't think you'd be back so soon. Fortunately, I'm a man who believes in signs. As I was walking to my meeting, I happened to look out the window and saw a stray dog run right into a pole. Just then I thought of a certain detective. Do you mean me, sir? Now then, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you all to leave. Yes, sir. Sorry. Oh, you in the coat. Me, sir? Drop off your ID on the way out. You won't be needing that anymore. But sir. Now, get out. Yes, sir. Oof. We'll be on our way too, then. Wait, you? The one without the spiky hair? Don't go yet. Me, sir? I'd like a word with you. But, sir, I'm not a licensed scientific investigator yet. You with the spiky hair, you're free to go. No, Mr. Wright? No! No, don't leave her! Look, pal, if I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. The chief's office is off limits. But no, you just had to go speaking in there like that, didn't you? I thought you said you didn't care anymore. Or you were fired. Yeah, but if I knew it'd be like this, I never would have said it! And I've seen the evidence Chief Gant was hiding in his office. I think I'm finally starting to get the picture. But why has she kept eerily silent about all this time? Anyway, are you listening to me? I'm gonna try to smooth things over with the chief again. Later, pal. But what about Emma? After that, I heard from Emma. She said the police wanted to ask her some questions. So she'll be busy for the rest of the day. Oh, no, he's just trying to keep her. Damn it. Damn it. Alright. Alright. I see. So the chief asked Emma to come in for questioning. It's no use thinking about it. Tomorrow's the final day in court. I'm committed to doing everything I can to defend you, which is why I'm here. But I've already told you all I can. What you've told me over these past couple of days is absolutely nothing. Not a single useful thing. Really. I believe I did mention something quite important. Something I told you right at the beginning. I said that I was the one who stabbed Detective Goodman. I know. I think I've finally figured it out. I know who it is that's lurking behind your words. Mia did a good job mentoring you. I'm rather jealous. Seems Edgeworth was right. Edgeworth? Once you're convinced you know something, no one can persuade you otherwise. Thick-headed is the term he used, I believe. Now's my chance to get her to tell me the rest of the story. Alright, go. I have to admit, I was more than a little perplexed at first. You insisted you did it, yet there was no incriminating evidence. That's when it hit me. It's not that you're unwilling to tell the truth. It's that you're incapable of doing so because of a certain individual. What an intriguing notion. A certain individual, you say. So, you think I'm protecting this person? Protecting? No. I think afraid of is more like it. If I'm not mistaken, the person in question may have persuaded you to silence. For argument's sake, Mr. Wright, who, may I ask, is this person you're speaking of? The one I'm supposedly so frightened of. What is this person's name? Gant. Well, Miss Guy? Mr. Wright, you are addressing the chief prosecutor. Do not forget your place. I take it she's still not ready to spill the beans.
My apologies. Could you please tell me a bit more about what you think you know?
Alright. Sorry. My nose feels weird.
We were partners until 2 years ago. I respected him as a detective. Assuming he is respectable, then tell me something. Why would he try to hide his crimes? His crimes? Both you and Edgeworth will be brought before a board of inquiry for what you did. Specifically, hiding and forging evidence. Of course, these are serious offenses. Why is it, though, that Chief Gant's name was never mentioned? Chief Gant? Edward didn't know the truth behind the forgery. The only party who could have possibly tampered with the evidence was me. I had access because I was second in command of that investigation. Yes, you, but also one other, Damon Gant. If you intend to accuse Chief Gant, you'll need more than just words. Show me proof that Chief Gant falsified evidence. Well... Actually, I want to see this. Damn it. Whoa! What? That's... Okay, it's a very bad feeling about this. Huh. Damn it. Thought I would actually see it, but alright. Yeah. I found this in a safe in Chief's office. This jar piece and this piece of cloth. Do you know what these are? They're a piece of evidence from SL9 incident. The person concealing evidence was none other than Chief Gant himself. Now tell me, why are you taking all the blame for him? Touché, Mr. Wright. It's as you surmised. Surmised? I cannot disobey the Chief's orders, even if it means being found guilty for murder. Why not? Come now, Mr. Wright. You can't possibly expect me to be able to tell you that. 3 days ago, I had no choice but to cooperate. The murder of Detective Goodman? Or perhaps I should say follow orders. Yes, that's more accurate than cooperate. Although I can't tell you the details, I can say that I was given an order that day. I need you to dispose of Bruce Goodman's body. You'll find it inside the trunk of Miles Edgeworth's car. Just as I suspected. Despite what everyone believes, you were not the one who murdered Detective Goodman. Correct. I was trying to take the body out of Edgeworth's car. The truck's lock was broken, and I discovered that murder weapon while inspecting the body. The murder weapon, you mean Edgeworth's knife? No. When I found the body, this was the knife stuck in it. The knife from the SL9 incident. Serial killer Joe Dark's knife. I couldn't just leave that knife in him. So, I took it out and stabbed him with another knife. That would be Edward's knife. That's right. Even though he was already dead, my hands were shaking at the thought of stabbing him. That's why I ended up cutting my hand. And that is the reason for the bandage on your right hand. Yes. It seems that it got blood on the victim's shoes as well. And then she saw me just as I plunged a knife in. Miss Star, huh? Damn. So he was already dead. Why did you need to hide Dark's knife so badly? It took a lot of work to finally close the Dark case 2 years ago. It was over with. I didn't ever want to be open again. My intent was to prevent that by whatever means possible. So you hid Dark's knife. The weapon used to stab the detective was evidence in the Joe Dark case. If word got out, which it would, the reporters would have a field day with that. So you wrapped the knife in your scarf and hid it. In Edgeworth's exhaust pipe. Right. Then I called my sister. To tell her what happened and asked her to hide the knife that was inside my muffler. No, you asked Emma? I didn't want anyone on the force to know about this. That explained why Emma was so confident about Lana's innocence. Speaking of phone calls, I had a bad feeling about one of them that day. A bad feeling? The truth is, after I received those orders from Chief Gant, the first thing I did was make a phone call. To Patrolman Jake Marshall. To Marshall? What on earth would you call him? The lead investigator for SL9 incident had been murdered. I want that fact to be kept hidden, and I needed help. He was the only other person I could trust, or at least I thought I could trust him at the time. However, it seems that after I spoke to him, he went off on an escapade of his own. Oh, you mean... Not wanting the case to die, he decided to take things into his own hands. He disguised himself as Detective Goodman and tried to steal the evidence. He had already stolen the card, but it seems he still hadn't made up his mind to break into the evidence room. After my phone call, any remaining doubts he had must have disappeared. So your phone call caused the incident of the evidence room. I'm afraid that's all I can tell you. Balana. You've earned my respect, Mr. Wright, both as a defense attorney and an investigator. Now please, don't pursue this any further in court tomorrow. Tomorrow's trial. There's only one way to drive off Lana's demons. I've got to get to the bottom of everything. Shit. Detective Goodman's real murderer. And what went down in the chief's office 2 years ago? Damn. This sucks.